Good morning, good morning. It's Pause with Elizabeth Eleanor, and we're going to talk about emotional intimacy. So, I would love for you to share, say hello if you're here in the chat. Let's get this party started, right? So, emotional intimacy and really supporting and connecting with your partner when it comes to intimacy and connection and communication and all of those things. So, first of all, would love to hear. Let me see if I'm really here. Am I really here? I am really here. So, I'd love for you to put in the chat how your week has been. Have you had time to pause and reflect and really consider all of the things that we go through? Because one of the things about life is that we can get caught up in our unconscious patterns, right? We just living by rote. We're just going over and over and doing things without, we talked about this in our Conscious Creator Circle this morning about perception and assumptions and how we perceive things to be a particular way in our unconscious, but there's so many other variables and potentials that are a possibility in life, right? Good morning, lovely to have you guys here. Hey Bindi, hey Sharon and Irene, lovely to have you connect. I would love for you to just pause for a moment and consider what it means to develop emotional intuition, right? First of all, let's just talk about what emotional intuition is, because it really is having this sense of an understanding of your partner's feelings, what their needs are, their desires, without really communicating verbally, right? Just being able to sense what's going on for them and connecting in with them on a deeper level, in a more intimate, connected, conscious level, right? And this is how conscious relationships are formed, is when we go out of just the normal, everyday, boring routine and surface level relationship where you're feeding off each other's dysfunctions and unconscious patterns, and you can go into this depth, this next level of really building that trust, that communication, that safety between two people, right? When you can do that, when you can really step into that level of connection, it really fosters like a deeper supportive connection, right? Like, I'm trying to explain it because it's beyond words. That's what I know. It's beyond words. It's this awareness, and I would love for those that are on here to share with me if you've got this connection or you've had these moments with your partner, if you've got a partner, right? If you don't have a partner, throw in here that you don't have a partner. But if you've got a partner, have you had that experience of really feeling like both of you are completely seen and heard and valued? Really connecting in at this level, it means that you have an empathy and a connection with your partner that's beyond, the limited roles that we normally play. It's you've got each other's back, you've got each other's support. You can be yourself all the way through your relationship, so that there is so much more depth and honoring and love and value in your relationship, right? What you will notice is that you then can start connecting in and attuning to your partner's needs, right? And feelings. Like, I remember it wasn't that long ago, something was happening for me. I can't even remember what it was now. and I was just feeling a little bit flat. Something had happened. I can't remember what it was. And I got a phone call from Tim. And he said, "How are you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm good." I said, "I really needed to hear your voice though." And he said, "Yeah, I just had this thought that was the case, so I gave you a call." That sort of thing is like, I mean, how beautiful, right? To have that connection where you're sort of tuned in, not that it's actually affecting you, and then you're going down rabbit holes with your partner, mangy rabbit holes, and moving into a space where they might be in a bad mood, so you're in a bad mood. It's being more attuned to their moods and their feelings so that you can emotionally support them and still be your own separate self, right? Still be in that place where you are an individual and you've got your own identity. This is what co-creation's about, instead of independence, or like co-creation is way more important than it is when you're like in each other's skin and you're feeling the same things and you actually affect each other in the same way, right? So when one of you is feeling like you've had a challenging day, the other one is there to support and to hold space, right? So when you've got this sort of relationship, there's some really beautiful things about having this, because you can connect on a deeper level, right? And you can be aware of when you're having an emotion or an experience because it's your belief systems, right? And when it's their belief systems and something's going on for them, right? So they come in, with a heavy heart, or they've had a hard day at work, or whatever it might be. You can tune into that, and you can see it with body language, right? Like body awareness is one of the ways, as a technique, to strengthen that emotional intuition. You can sort of pay attention to how their facial expressions are, their tone of voice, are they slouching, are they standing up, are they excited, all of those things, right? So you can sort of feel it and experience it through body language. You can also do it with mindful listening, right? Where you practice actively listening without making any judgment, with the intent not to respond immediately, and to just listen, and listen in with your empathic body, right? Where you're listening in with your whole auric field, rather than coming from a place of listening with just your ears. Because often when we're just listening, we're also reflecting on our own thoughts and feelings at the same time, and so we're more attuned to what's going on internally rather than what's happening right in front of us and how our partner may be feeling, right? Reflecting back with them as well of what you sense, like like, how would I put this? Empathic reflection, right? Where you're actually sensing what's going on, and you just check in to see how accurate you are. Had the experience of not long ago, so grateful to take the high road in that case, seeing it was his stuff, yes, and not taking it personally enough to love him through it, even if there's daggers flying, so to speak. Yeah, it's a big one, right? Is being able to hold your own space at the same time when someone is going through a challenging situation. And, that's what conscious relationships is all about. It's not about perfection. It's not about, it all being rosy all the time, because that is when we're in our dysfunction, when we're not looking at normal life and actually just going, life happens. Life can be shitty sometimes, right? It's just the way it is. And so when we can hold this beautiful emotional intelligence for ourselves and our partner, that's when emotional intuition really comes into play, and we can support our partner for whatever's going on for them while we're still in that space of, you know, not letting it affect us, and celebrating with them when they're in their wins at the same time, right? So well done, Bindi. That's awesome. Yeah, just going back to, you know, empathic reflection, asking, you know, checking in and seeing if what's going on for them is what you're experiencing, and then just sort of asking them. I know that Tim's come in, or you know, Tim's had stuff going on, and I've walked in and I can see it, and I just like, what's going on? There's something going on, right? Like, no, everything's cool. And then I'm like, no, I can feel it. What's going on? And I was just thinking about such and such and blah, 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 you know, and we get the opportunity. And that gives me the opportunity to then stop and sit and listen from a mindful place, right? To actually hear what he's saying. Because sometimes we just need to be heard, right? And sometimes it's like, do you want me to give you advice on this, or you just want to reflect, right? So sometimes we can go into the trying to fix things, and especially, you know, us empathic, intuitives and healers, we want to heal the whole world, right? And so sometimes it's just making sure that, you know, you just want to be heard, or do you want some advice, or, you know, what, like have a conversation about what the challenge is and how we can support each other through this, right? Another thing to do is just doing an intuitive check-in every so often. Isn't that awesome, Bindi, that it was a beautiful outcome? So you've now had that experience of what it's like when you hold space like that and not take it on. That's what empowerment is all about, is when you're sitting in that space of being able to recognize who I am and where I'm at, and that something's going on outside of me, and that it doesn't actually have to be about me or affect me, right? This is giving your partner the power to be completely themselves, and knowing that they've got this, right? That they have the ability to work this out, and that you can just hold space for them. That is a really powerful place to be. Hey. So a couple of things that you can do through this process is to do daily emotional check-ins with yourself, right? How am I feeling? And really set the tone so that you're starting to recognize your own feelings, and share those feelings with your partner, right? And intuitively connect with their emotional state as well. So just a quick check-in. How is my partner going? You know, like, how does this feel? You know, and just being aware if it's affecting you, how it's affecting you, and being able to shift that if that's the case, right? And this is one of the things that, you know, one of my modalities is the 3 powers, and being aware of where the powers lying. Are you letting one of your beliefs take over and you're giving your power away, or where is the power residing, right? Another thing that's really beautiful that you could try with your partner is doing a process called silent communication, right? Where you both spend a bit of time, like maybe a couple of minutes, right, a few minutes maybe, silently observing each other and tuning in to the emotions and energy without speaking. This is a really beautiful thing to do, because when we don't speak and we can just like eye gaze for a little while and just tune in to each other's frequency, a lot of things can come up in that experience, in that exercise. emotions can come up, fears can come up, but also heightened love, feelings of appreciation and gratitude can come up. So it can be this beautiful wave. And if you both have that ability and are willing to go there, it's a really healthy and wholesome relationship exercise to do, right? To sit together and just sit in silence and look without speaking. But as you're looking and observing, spending that time, just energetically connecting and feeling and tuning into the emotions that are available and that are coming up, and letting them be waves, right? Letting them be, not try and fix them, not try and squash them, not try and, hold on to them. Just allow them to come and go, because that's where, that's the part where it can feel a little bit vulnerable, is when you have these emotions and you're not holding on to them, but just allowing them to happen. That can be a little bit of a mastery, doing that process. You can master that, or you can get caught up in the emotion and get all giggly and self-conscious and all of those things. And it's really stripping yourself, letting go of the vulnerability in front of your partner and going into that place where you feel safe, right? That's one of the things about conscious relationships, is being safe, feeling safe with somebody in all of your vulnerabilities, in all of your imperfections, all of those things, to be able to be in a place where you just feel safe with someone. Now, the other thing, and this is something that Tim and I do, is you can journal together, writing out your feelings, your experiences, and then maybe sharing those with your partner, and understanding each other and what you've written about how you're feeling about a situation. Tim and I are more likely to do scripting than we do journaling in that capacity, because we are more likely to talk to each other about it. But sometimes journaling together can be a really a beautiful experience if you feel safe in a relationship, right? Because some of the barriers that can happen to emotional intuition and being this deep and this engaged with your partner can be that you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed. If you're having difficulty tuning into your partner's energy field and their needs, that can come from when you're emotionally overwhelmed yourself and you're not coping. And so when you're in that space, you need someone to really hold space for you. You need them to be in that place of being able to reciprocate and connect in with you and see what you need and tune into your wants and desires and emotional frequency, right? And hold space for you. You can also have past traumas and insecurities. So if you're feeling like you don't have you don't feel like you're good enough, you don't belong, if you've got any insecurities about feeling insignificant, that's held you back emotionally, and you don't feel safe to connect with someone. So past abuse can hold someone back from having this experience, because it's really vulnerable being exposing yourself to this degree to somebody else, right? It's actually counterintuitive to what our survival and our unconscious really wants to do, because we're constantly looking and perceiving danger in our life. And to have someone at that level that can see us and expose ourselves in all ways, like our auric field and our energy field, I asked a question in my personal page a little while ago. I can't remember how long ago it was now, but it was something like, how would you feel if everyone had telepathic communication? And, it was a really interesting exercise for me, because I watched how so many went, yeah, well, people are already sort of doing it, and yeah, I think it'd be great. But to actually be exposed to the degree where someone can look into your heart, see all of your assumptions about yourself and the world, see all of your judgments, see all of your trauma, see all of your insecurities. Like, we don't let people do that on a normal day-to-day basis. When I see someone, I notice, I notice if I'm looking too deeply in someone, and I know not to, because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. But you can look at someone and you can see all of it in their field. And some people feel very uncomfortable about that, because they've got like their own assumptions and misinterpretations of who they are, and they make judgments of themselves, so therefore they think that everyone's going to do the same about them. So if you've got this hardwired into your being, into your unconscious, that I'm not worthy, or somehow that I'm not good enough, then all of those things are going to come up when you're in this vulnerable place with your partner. And things like infidelity, or feeling like you can't trust if you're not feeling safe in the relationship, then these things are going to be extremely challenging, because you have to feel safe in a conscious relationship. It's just a conscious relationship. Actually, the foundations of it is safety and trust. Being able to know someone at such an intimate level means that you're growing vibrationally together. It means that you're supporting each other in your evolution, in your processes. You're willing to expose yourself to each other, right? All of that has to come with deeply understanding and ripping out each other's heart, right? And saying, here's mine, here's all of my imperfections. Are you willing to still love me, right? And when they say yes, that's the relief, right? That's when these deeper experiences can really take hold and become part of your relationship. So if you do find that you have, this is a challenging topic, and you have had moments, but there's other moments where it might be something that's a bit hard for you to do, you've got to go and get some sort of healing, right? Some sort of self-reflection, open communication with your partner, continually practicing and being patient with yourself and with him or her, going through the process of choosing this as part of your experience, choosing to be in an intimate, emotional, intuitive relationship, takes work. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's not something that, to create that deeper emotional bond between two people, it means that you have to have worked on yourself and all of those things that are coming up in you. And the same with them. They have to also be in that space of being willing to expose all of that stuff, the dysfunction within, and clean it up so that you can grow together. Because when you do these things, these are the things that happen that reduce conflict in your life, right? It reduces the misunderstandings that can happen when you're just doing surface level stuff, right? When you're in a place where you're feeling uncomfortable in your relationship and you're just mind to mind, that's when there's misunderstandings of what's actually happening, and you can misinterpret, body language. And when you're not opening yourself up yourself, then you're trying to work it all out through your mind. The mind is going to come up with all of the dysfunction first, and that's when conflict starts, arguments start, accusations start. All of those things can be a major problem. So it really is all about self-awareness, practicing, to strengthen your own emotional intuition, balancing your own self-worth and your ability to be intuitive in the first place, right? And setting the intention that you want a healthy relationship in the first place. Setting the intention that that is what, this is a daily choice to really choose, this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I want to experience, and being able to let go of any of your own self-sabotage beliefs that are holding you back from really going into that next level, that intuitive connection between two people. That's when you create soul relationships, right? That's when you can say, I've got my soul partner here. Because when you can really connect in that deep level, then you're connecting soul to soul, right? Now, one of the things that we've got on in our this month, which is our September anniversary, is we have the Child of the New Moon, which is on at the end of the month. And I think it's on, Irene, maybe you need to tell me again. I think it's on the 27th or something like that. It's next week anyway. I think it starts on Sunday. And basically what it is it's 7 days of really developing our intuition, right? Increasing our ability to be intuitive in the first place so that you can have that emotional intuition with your partner and really tap into what's going on, what's in the field rather than what's happening mind to mind. So we're going to be developing that over the 7 days. We're going to be doing particular focus meditations to 29th. Thank you. 29th to the 5th of October. Thank you, Irene. We're going to be doing all sorts of stuff, talking to our guides, really tapping into that higher wisdom, to our higher self, and using practical application of this, right? This is not just woo-woo stuff. This is the best parts of a 3-month container that I was in to increase with superconscious intuition. And this is all the best parts that really are going to move the needle to really create that higher connection, that, being able to read the field of what's going on so that you do feel safe in your environment, because you can read what's happening and read what's going on for you as well as for others, right? So this is not about second guessing. This is all, this is not just about mind control. This is actually stepping into the field where you are in your heart and you're connecting with all the information and being able to act accordingly from there, right? So it's from the 29th to the 5th. It's a 1-hour Zoom each day where we're going to be doing all sorts of different exercises. There's a Facebook group as well. There'll be replays. Everything's going to be live streamed into the Facebook group. So if you can't come to the live Zoom, you get to watch the replay. You get to have it for a week afterwards as well. So technically you've got it for 2 weeks. And it's going to be super fun, actually. Really connecting in with that inner child, that innocence that's within us, and stepping into this new level of consciousness that's coming on the planet. So at the moment it's $97. It is going to go up, but it's super cheap for what value you're getting. And I will, if you want the link to the page so that you can have a geezer and see if it's right for you, then just put in new moon and we will send you the link. Mwah! Have a wonderful week, and we will catch you next time. See ya.